Neal, can you unpack your testimony story a little more? Going from kind of a rock bottom season, sounds like some alcoholism. Can you walk us through that in a little more detail?
Everyone goes through hard things in life, but really just kind of like, why me? Why has it all been taken away from me because of a certain thing that I wouldn't do?
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the MTNTOUGH Podcast. I am Dustin for host and CEO, and I'm so glad that you are here. It is our goal to bring you an inspiring guest every single week that helps you level up, that helps you work on that mindset, that mental toughness, so that you can live the abundant life. If you've never listened to the show before and you are a new time listener, thanks for being here. And I want to make sure you know that you do have an exclusive code for MTNTOUGH. All you need to do is enter the code MTNPOD by clicking MTNTOUGH.com, start free trial. That code will get you 6 weeks free of training on the MTNTOUGH app. So full native app available anywhere the apps are found, iOS, Android, smart TV. It is your access to all of our full gear training, minimal gear training, heavy pack, weight vest, yoga, mobility. It is all in there. That is MTNPOD for 6 weeks of free training on MTNTOUGH as our thank you for being a podcast listener. Shifting over to today's guest on the show today, we have Neal McDonough. Many of you know Neal as he's known as the most famous villain on TV. He's been on hundreds of movies and shows and series as a villain. He is well known from his work in Band of Brothers. He's also well known on the series airing now of Tulsa Kings. But Neal has a very interesting story. By sticking with his morals, ethics, and values, he refused to kiss a girl on screen as he's a married man. That transformed his career kind of in a negative light at first. He lost his house, car, he lost everything. But now he has his own production studio with his wife called Angel Studios. They're releasing some great content, and he's going to talk about his new show coming up called The Last Rodeo. So super interesting take on mindset and mental toughness from the filmmaking career. So please stand by for my conversation with Neal McDonough. Well, stoked to have you on. I know we've been working on it for a while. I know you've been busy with a tremendous amount of projects. Your capacity seems to be unmatched and unparalleled. The amount of work you get done is phenomenal.
Yeah, my dad told me at a young age, if they give you $1, give them $2 worth of effort. That's just kind of like stuck in my brain my whole life. And now they're in this position of producing our own films at the McDonough Company with Angel Studios as a distributor. Ruvé and I, my wife Ruvé, and we've just been so incredibly fortunate to be as busy as we're about to start our 10th production.
Man,
It's kind of crazy, and we've been together now. We just celebrated our 26th anniversary yesterday. So
congrats.
on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, it's been an incredible ride. There's been all kinds of ups and downs in life that have happened to us, as happens to everybody. I'm not special. Everyone goes through hard things in life. But for me, getting through all those hard things that I had to go through years ago, when I was drinking too much or just hating myself and not working out and not taking care of myself, self-loathing, all that stuff that we go through. It was Ruvé convincing me to get back to church, get back to God, get back to who I was. And as soon as I finally clicked back into it, I realized I was making everything about me, not about helping out God, not about being the best husband, not about being the best dad, not about being the best actor, but really just kind of like, why me? Why has it all been taken away from me because of a certain thing that I wouldn't do? Start to build back on it and say, okay, let's do it our way a little bit. Let's figure out a way we can make our own movies. And this was 10 years ago, so we were working towards it, but it wasn't getting there. And then a film called Greater came on, and that was the first one we produced together, and that did really well. And then now here we are on there was our seventh film was The Last Rodeo, which comes out Memorial Day weekend, which I am so I've never been so proud of a film. Band of Brothers was my favorite project I've ever been on. Those guys are still my boys. To play those amazing American heroes was just what a joy that was. But I met my wife Ruvé the very first day of filming in London, so
Incredible.
that was a really special part of my life. But the Last Rodeo is kind of a culmination of everything. It's how, we've stuck together, and now here we are producing films, and to have the amazing John Avnet as the director, who was our only choice. Michael T. Williamson and Christopher McDonald as my two best friends in real life here in Hollywood are my guys in the film as well. And my first screen kiss since I met Ruvé 26 years ago was this movie. So she plays my wife who's passed away in flashbacks. So Dustin, it's like, how did I get here? How did I get from bankrupt, lost everything was taken away, to now here I am making films that give glory to him in everything that we do? Holy
Man.
smokes.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Keep it really simple. If you have one boss and that boss is God, you'll do everything in your power to do the right things. And look, we're knuckleheads. We do stupid stuff. We swear, we cuss, we sin. We do all these things every day because we're human. But it's how we can be better tomorrow or today better than yesterday. And that's kind of what we kind of pride ourselves on in our house. God first, me second. Family first, me second. And those are the tenets that we live by. And without thinking too much, it obviously is working pretty well so far. So
Man.
I'm blessed to be here with you right now.
Yeah, God and his ability to redeem circumstances, and how, our sin in the past he can redeem it for good in the future. Sometimes it takes time to see that to fruition, but the way that he does it is unlike anything else.
For sure. And there's also the other part of your body is a temple, and a lot of times we don't treat it like a temple. We put horrible foods, plastic food in our system. We don't work out. We sit down a lot. We don't take care of our mental and physical side of ourselves through health. And that's another thing that we changed a lot in our house, was what we eat in the McDonough house and the workouts we do. And like every morning I'm up doing something, whether it's on the row machine, whether it's jogging a few miles, whether it's hitting the weights, whether it's jumping rope, whether it's playing basketball with the kids and teaching them and coaching them on things, or baseball practice we had last night until it got dark. And I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And all of our kids are all athletes because they see mom and dad working out so hard and eating the right things and trying to mentally be as strong as possible so we can always be soldiers for God. And that's what we've been doing. And it's rubbing off on our kids. And hopefully in the films that we've been making, like Homestead, there was that little $5 million film that made $23 million in the box office. That never happens, Dustin. And
Yeah.
it is. And The Shift, another film we did with Angel Studios, that was the same thing, $5 million film. And it's made millions in the box office and thereafter on video. So I can't imagine what's going to happen when The Last Rodeo comes out, a film that's really about the heartland of America, about families that are fractured, about the rodeo and the traditions of the rodeo and praying before every rodeo. And there's 18,000 fans, dead silent, taking their cowboy hats off as we pray together for the safety of our men and women overseas, for our families, and men who were in the ring that day. What other sporting event brings God right there in the foreground other than the rodeo? I've never seen it. And I'm just, God put that idea in my head, write a film, Rocky on a Bull, about the rodeo. And that's what I did. And it's all about family and my relationship with my daughter in the film, and my grandson, and my pass away wife, and all the things that we all have to deal with. So I'm so excited for it.
As someone who shoots a lot, finding ammo can be a challenge. Ammo shortages come and go depending on the season. These guys at Ammo Squared have solved this problem. They procure your ammo for you. All you need to do is set your monthly budget, pick your ammunition. They are going to find that ammo, and they are going to store it for you in their climate-controlled facility. They do have over 70 calibers to choose from, so that you can try a variety of ammunition. When you're ready to use it, they ship it directly to you, and you're good to go. With summer coming up, whether you're preparing for PRS rifle competitions, USPSA pistol competitions, NRL Hunter Series, or preparing for the Range 4 hunting season, Ammo Squared has you covered, and they're going to help you resupply that training ammo. Visit ammosquared.com for a special offer and to stay fully stocked. I'm so excited too. We are a rodeo family. We're not a generational rodeo family, but my oldest daughter, who's 12 now, a couple years ago got into rodeo. And so we've been learning it alongside her as parents. But certainly, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, the rodeo culture is thick and heavy out here. And we've grown up going to them, but now we are spending a lot of time at them, getting her more prepared and getting her more exposed to barrels and poles and flag racing. And it's been one of the coolest experiences we've ever seen in terms of the work ethic and the community, the camaraderie, and definitely the faith-based undertone of the rodeo community. And because of that, the authenticity and the selfish nature of the rodeo community is magical. Because of her interest, actually just on our spring break trip last week, her Christmas gift for her spring break trip was a trip to the Houston Rodeo, because the Houston Rodeo is one of the largest in the world. We've always wanted to take her there. So we actually just got home from that, and there was 71,000 people in the Texans Stadium.
Right, that's a good dad right there. Good job.
71,000 people in the Texans Stadium, and they prayed before the rodeo kicked off every night. They prayed every night, 17 nights in a row, selling out that stadium. So it's
crazy.
It's amazing.
We were in Manhattan at the beginning of the season, just after New Year's. And to be in Manhattan, a place where you would never think you would see cowboys, a place where you never think you would see cowboy hats, a place you don't really think about as a place that would pray. There we were, 18,000 fans, took their hat off. Everyone had their heads bowed. Everyone was praying. It was just unbelievable. And we'll be in Palm Springs this weekend for another event with the PBR, and a few more events before the film comes out. And now Ruvé and I are now part owners of the Austin Gamblers rodeo team. So rodeo is near and dear to our heart. We love the culture. We love everything they stand for. And we are so blessed and fortunate to be able to do a film that talks about it.
That's awesome. I've used a ton of Bluetooth speakers over the years, and they all have never quite had enough output for me to really have an awesome home gym workout on a Bluetooth speaker. But the Turtle Box is in a whole new ball game. They have leveled up this product, so the bass and the output you get out of a Turtle Box is quite amazing. It's funny how we started using them at the lab. We had an awesome sound system at our new lab here in Bozeman. We were using it so much, we actually blew our brand new system out. We went right to the Turtle Boxes, and so we paired two together in the lab, and that was a lot of output for the Mountain Tough team and all of our testing to have phenomenal sound in our gym for a great workout with great music. We know there's a ton of Mountain Toughers training in their basements, in their garages, and I know a lot of you are looking for great sound to play some music in the background to your MGDs. This is a great product for you to check out. Turtle Box is at a whole new level. The bass and the volume you can get out of that box. It's a sweet product. You guys can check them out at turtleboxaudio.com. Use promo code TOUGH for a free Turtlebox hat with the purchase of a Gen 2 speaker. The hat must be added to your cart before entering the promo code TOUGH, TOUGH. In this film, you're playing slightly a different role than normal. You are a father in this film, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, for the last, because I won't kiss a woman on screen, what does that leave me with? Soldiers in the middle of a battlefield with no women around, or the villain. So you can't play the good guy if you're not willing to kiss the girl in the end, right? So that's kind of been what it's been like for the last 20 years. And I've been fine with it. I've got 5 kids and I have to provide for them. So I was going to be the best darn villain I could possibly be. And I think I achieved that goal. But now in the last couple of films, especially the ones that we're producing, I get to play the torn hero, the guy who has the baggage, the guys with emotional problems that he's going through. And by the end of the film, he gets through it through his faith. I love that because that's you, that's me, that's everybody that I know. How we get through certain situations, we get through it always better with faith in God. Because he's always there for us. We're not always there for him, but he is always there for us, waiting with his arms wide open. So to be able to write films to that, my gosh, it's just, I don't know how I got here. I'm blessed that God put me in this position. I don't have any talent. All the talent is infused, through him into me. Doesn't make me special. It's just I realize what I'm really good at, and that's acting in front of a camera and telling stories. And I get to do it now with my wife, Ruvé. Like I said, we're about to start our 10th production together, and the hard work that we put in it's nonstop right now. I never thought at 59 years old this would be the busiest I'd ever be in my career, and it's the truth. And and all the kids are in their prime now. They're all some are in college, some are going off to college, others are getting ready and preparing for it. So there's a lot of hard work in our house right now, and I just love every second of it.
That's amazing. Neal, can you unpack your testimony story a little more? You covered it briefly there at the beginning, but just, going from kind of a rock bottom season, sounds like some alcoholism. Can you walk us through that in a little more detail?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of knows my story about how I wouldn't, I won't kiss a woman on screen. And I got crucified on this one show and was fired from the show and then blackballed for 2 years and lost our house, cars, everything. And, I wasn't I didn't have a real drinking problem before that. Being an Irishman, we all drink. Sometimes we drink too much. That's just who we are. But I never had that drinking problem. I would never drink when I was filming. I would never drink during certain things. But as soon as everything got taken away from me for about 2 years straight, there wasn't a bottle of whiskey that didn't have my name on it, and it was brutal. And I don't think many people could really see it. Ruvé could see it. A few friends could definitely see it. I didn't want my kids to see it, and I don't think they did. It was 10 years ago. But if it weren't for Ruvé, I wouldn't be here right now. She got me through it. She challenged me to sober up and get back to who I was, that God-fearing guy who loved God and loved family, loved his country, all those things that I always was and always wanted to keep being. But I stumbled, and that stumble, it hurt. She brought me back to church. She brought me back to God and talking to my priests and getting through things. And all of a sudden one day I said, okay, that's enough. And, my father died and all these things happened at this one time, this short, brief time that was just painful. And we all go through it. We all lose loved ones. We all have job things that happen to us that aren't always good. But 10 years ago when I decided to stop drinking, everything just kind of changed. My brain became clearer. My motivations were that much stronger. And I want to do the right thing. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best dad. I want to be the best actor. I want to be the best child of God. And I really wanted to do that. And to do that, I decided with Ruvé, okay, we're going to start making our own movies. We're going to start doing things that we can have the opportunity to give glory to him.
Hey guys, I did want to interrupt for a quick minute right here and let you know about some supplements I've been taking. I did shy away from supplements for a long time. I was always cautious about what they were made out of, where they were from, and who the team was behind the brands. But over the last couple of years, I've got to meet the team at MTNTOUGH from top to bottom, and they are an amazing group of humans. I've got to know the CEO, Trevor Farnes, really well, and he is a mission-focused individual that cares about humans living a better quality of life so that they can have that abundant life. So over the last couple of years, he has helped me add some things that have changed the game for me. One of those things that I've added is creatine from MTNTOUGH. It helps me maintain some muscle mass, but also it's a big, big player in cognitive function, one of the most researched supplements out there. Also, I've added reds, greens, and protein, all from MTNTOUGH. What I found as a busy professional, always on the run, I do eat a whole foods diet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but on the go, it's hard to get enough vegetables, fruits, and protein. So I've added that from MTNTOUGH, and it has significantly changed the game. I can feel it in my performance. I haven't got sick for a long, long time, and I can certainly feel it in my mental clarity as well. The last thing I've added is the Mountain Tough Hydrate product for the backcountry, for hunting season. When I'm in the hills, I do run short on those electrolytes. We even have a Mountain Tough flavor, the Mountain Tough Lemon Lime Hydrate, and that is a game changer for hydration in the backcountry. So I keep it really simple. That is all I've added to my protocol, and it has certainly helped me, and I certainly believe in the team and the culture behind Mountain Ops. They have started an initiative that's been around for a while called Conquer Hunger. Conquer Hunger is giving meals to hungry kids that aren't getting enough food, and they've given out over 6 million meals plus to kids through their Conquer Hunger initiative. So every order that happens at Mountain Ops, a percentage of that order goes to Conquer Hunger. So certainly an incredible company, an incredible culture. As a listener to the show, you do get an exclusive offer to Mountain Ops, so make sure you check that out. The offer is incredible as a first-time purchase at MountainOps.com. So build your order if it's your first time. They are offering you a 20% exclusive discount. All you need to do is enter the promo code Mountain Tough, all one word, all caps, for 20% off your first order at MountainOps.com.
Because, being a villain in all these projects, I was a villain for 20 years because I wouldn't kiss another woman on screen. So, like I said, we had a great time doing it. We had a wonderful time doing it. It got me to this place right now. Would I change it? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything in my life. My kids were asking me the other day, "Dad, what would you change in your life right now if you could?" I said, nothing, because you'll learn from the pain. But once you get through that, you realize the glory in Him and how great life can be. Hard to see that when you're downing bottles of Jameson.
Yeah.
Really not easy. That's difficult, or whatever your vice is. So, now I couldn't imagine having a drink. My drink of choice now is the high of life of being a great husband, great dad, actor, all that stuff, because I know He's watching. And if He's my boss and He's watching, if I'm working at Starbucks and I know that camera's up there and it's staring at me, I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to make the best latte that I can make, because I want to make sure that I keep this job. Maybe there'll be a raise at some point. Maybe there won't be a raise, but I want to keep my job, and I want to make sure my customers are going to be happy with what I make them. Well, it's the same thing as an actor for me. I want to make the customers really happy with what we do. With Angel Studios and The Shift, man, that did so well. Homestead did so well. Now the Last Rodeo is going to crush it. I know it is. It's because we're working really hard in our family to do the right things, to make sure that we're putting God first, me second, family first, me second. Not what I need. What does my family need? Not what I need. What does God need from me? And once you're that kind of soldier and you're that motivated to do the right stuff for Him, you get through all the junk. You see all the choices that are laid out in front of you, generally by the devil. You're like, no, I don't need that. Yeah, we trip every once in a while. We're not perfect, but trying to be perfect is our goal. And if you're trying for perfection, you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure your body's in shape. You got to make sure your brain's in shape. You got to make sure you're not doing stupid stuff. You got to make sure that you wake up every morning. As Ruvé said, you want to be the kind of guy who wakes up in the morning when his 2 feet hit the floor, the devil says, oh no, he's up. That's your goal.
Yeah.
And if you can achieve that every single day, you can't. But if you can try and put your best foot forward to try to achieve that, that's all it is. And you'll be rewarded in the end. So we're trying to make films that kind of address these situations and talk about what happens with broken families, like in The Last Rodeo. My wife died. My daughter and I have had this estranged relationship for years. Now her son is really sick, and I have to go back into the rodeo because the only choice I have, because I have no money, I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to win the Legends Rodeo. At 58 years, are you out of your mind? You'll die. Yeah, maybe I will, but I'm going to prove two things. Either we're going to win this thing and we're going to save my grandson's life, or I'm going to die trying. He's going to realize how much I loved him.
Incredible. Yeah, we talk about the same thing at Mountain Tough. We talk about the goal of punching the enemy in the face, and what kind of guy wouldn't want to punch the enemy in the face? And the way that we do that is we be and do filled with the Holy Spirit. And if you were to cut us open and see that we're filled with the Holy Spirit, and then because of that what we do is multiply that, and multiplying that in other people, whether that's through physical transformation, nutritional transformation, spiritual transformation. That multiplying is punching the enemy in the face and subduing the enemy. And that is the will of God and bringing glory to God. And you're doing the same thing in a whole different way by the films that you're bringing to people. And it definitely is a testimony of, seek the kingdom above all else, and his righteousness, and everything else will be provided, because you are in a industry where faith can be persecuted, and you've gone through that, but you continued to seek his kingdom first, and it didn't happen overnight, but certainly everything has been provided, and the fruit is there. It's an amazing story. Mountain Tough is the fitness app trusted by the dedicated. Mountain Tough ethos is backed by, we've always wanted to be the best in the world at helping our customers become more mentally tough. So inside the Mountain Tough app, you're not only going to find all of our physical training programs, but you're going to find additional training as well, so that you can stay sharp physically, mentally, spiritually, and nutritionally. The Mountain Tough app also allows you to train no matter where you are, anytime, anywhere. Additionally, the Mountain Tough app is going to have programs from beginners all the way up to elite athletes. And all of our programming is structured in a way that you can start with no gear at body weight, and you can go all the way up to programming that is full gear. So you can do that in a robust home gym or your local gym. There's no excuse for you not to start today. With Mountain Tough, you can conquer your goals with ideal program for your lifestyle and schedule. Train with equipment or just your body weight on your phone, tablet, TV, or web browser. Most importantly, Mountain Tough will help you train your mindset so you are always ready for anything life throws your way. Mountain Tough is offering the Mountain Tough Podcast listeners an incredible offer. 6 weeks free on the Mountain Tough app. All you need to do is use the code MTNPOD to redeem your 6 weeks of training. That'll be a 14-day free trial plus a whole additional 4 weeks of training. Just go to mountaintough.com and enter code MTNPOD for your 6 weeks free on the best-in-class physical and mental training app.
I mean, I had this, like I always joked, I had this Homer Simpson body. I was, in decent shape, but not like the shape that I should have been. I was an athlete when I was younger, and I'm still an athlete. It's working hard for a goal, guys. What is your goal? Your goal is you should make your temple a temple. That temple doesn't belong to you. It's on loan to you from him above. So what should you do to it? Should you graffiti it? Should you just throw junk all over it? No, you shouldn't. You should take care of that temple, because that is his temple that he has lent to you. So how do you do that? There's all kinds of great things out there that can help you do it. But it's also getting up, getting off your butt, hitting the floor, pressing those push-ups, doing those chin-ups, doing whatever it takes every single day to be the best shape that you can be in for your family, for God, for your country, for all these things. And once you're doing that, once you have your mindset of, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to eat the right stuff, I'm going to put the right things into my system, I'm going to take care of this temple, the choices in life become so much clearer and easier. You got to trust me on this. Once you get on that path, you don't want to get off of it. And that's why I was up this morning hitting the treadmill, hitting the rowing machine, working my lats and doing chin-ups and everything. It's important.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, guys. Trust me, it pays off in dividends.
For sure. And it's all, rooted in identity, and identity changes the game in our motivation, accountability, discipline, and that, keeps people fit for decades mentally and spiritually and physically versus, short-term roller coasters.
Right. I mean, you don't want to be that dad at your kid's wedding and you're like popping out of your tux. You don't want to be that guy. You want to look good, and it's not even so much looking good. You want to feel good. So for me, health has become such a strong proponent in our lives. Ruvé was up. She loves doing her Pilates. And she loves working out and eating the right things. And all of our kids are athletes. And our oldest son's a D1 golfer, and our next daughter is going to college to play volleyball, and the next ones are in basketball. And so they all see mom and dad working hard and what athletics has brought to us in our lives and the discipline that you have when you're working hard at things for a team. When you're working when he's your coach and that's a team you're working for, I think you work a little bit harder.
For sure. Well, Neal, thank you so much. I know you're short on time today, and I want to be respectful of your time, but absolutely love getting the chance to visit with you. It's a great honor and privilege, and love hearing your testimony and life story and the power of God and the power of God to redeem us, even though we all slip and stumble. There's hope for every single one of us, regardless of how bad we have fallen, and your life's been a great testimony of that. And I can't wait for the Last Rodeo. With us being involved in rodeo and the Montana community, I cannot wait to watch that.
Well, if you like films that you can bring the whole family to, talk about real issues, not just saccharine sweet films, but real films that talk about real issues that have a morality play to it. This is the type of movie you need to go and support, because if you do, it'll start changing the way that Hollywood makes movies. Everything's been so dark and so filled without hope. And that's kind of what the films have been like. And I've been guilty of being part in a bunch of them. But now we get to make films that I know the heartland of America loves to go out and see. Please go and support the Last Rodeo. Bring the whole family, bring friends, bring neighbors, bring everyone, because the more people we get and the more tickets we sell, the more chances we have to make more movies just like this for the United States of America. So let's go, guys.
Love it. Thank you, Neal.
God bless you all. Thank you. Thanks, Dustin.
God bless. What a great conversation with Neal. Thanks so much for being here. Remember, every single episode, we're going to pull out that golden nugget around mindset so that we can practically apply it into our lives right away. The golden nugget for me, for sure, on this episode is Neal talked about how these things that are provided to us, these manifestations of God's providence, provision, his will and calling on our life, they don't happen overnight. So he talked about losing everything, his father dying, but then he continued to stick to his guns after he quit drinking. So he stuck to his ethos of being a good father and producing films to glorify God. So he made decisions that cost him his career, but then he stayed focused on glorifying God. And it was 10, 20 years plus before he really saw all the fruit of that hard work come to life. So these things don't always happen overnight. It's not about instant gratification. It's about the journey, not the final destination. And these things do take time. So think about that with where you're at in your life right now and what you are up to. Love you guys. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode.